Welcome everybody to episode 65 of Overdriven, the ODRL podcast. Only me and Bren tonight. What up, Bren? And the producer and Solable stepped away for a little bit, but he'll be back for picks later. How you doing, Bren?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you, Mets? I'm back to this week. Missed last
Yes,
week.
sir.
Was a bit restless, a bit tired, so happy to be back.
A lot of hard work in that HVM camp for making you so tired. A lot of
Um,
carrying on your back. Is that what you're saying?
no, 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 no. I wouldn't say that. It is difficult, but life, those are challenges, and sometimes you just need to fall asleep, and then when you actually wake up, it's already 10. So yeah, that's what happened.
It happens, no worries. We missed you last week. But this week we got Dover recaps,
Oh
NXT
man.
and Premiere, both Dover, 200 laps each for both of them. Long nights. I'll talk more about the NXT side when it comes to time. And obviously you were there for the Monday Premiere side of things, so you'll talk more about that. Before we'll talk Premiere first. Stein got his second win, a good win with controversy, and we'll talk a little more. We'll talk a little bit about the controversy in a little bit. But what was your overall experience with the Dover track in the Premier Series this week?
Overall, this week, I ran a lot of laps with the group, obviously with Sterlo, Yoshi, and Valley, my new teammate, and I did learn a ton. Overall, my race, I'm disappointed in my finish because I had a top five car. I was top five all night, and final stage, I took two. So we had the strategy planned out, and that's why Sterlo had the lead with like about 10 to 15 to go. He got a little free, and that's probably why Stein caught him a little bit, and that's why we had that controversial finish. He probably would have gotten it. We don't know. We'll never know. But no, on my end though, I got caught by a huge pack of five cars, so I was kind of devastated because I went from fifth to ninth in one lap. That was heartbreaking because I could have had a top five, and instead I was able to hold on to ninth. I had two people hounding me, but overall had a good car. I wanted a better finish. I'm disappointed in my finish, but I felt like I did enough stage points. I gained some points, and I'm back in the fight for the top five in points. Overall, decent night, especially from Chicago, where it was a bit rough. I know I didn't talk. I wasn't here last week, so I didn't get to talk about that. But Chicago, man, that track is different. Okay. I mean, I got bullied there, to be honest, and I just need a redemption week. And I knew I said earlier this season that Dover was probably gonna be my best shot, besides, oh, obviously Homestead. I felt really good at Dover. I just feel like I ran top five, but I just never could get up to like the top three. That was my problem. I just sat there in between fourth and fifth, and then I ended up ninth. But I'll take that. Good week, good points. We'll take that any day.
Very true. And you're in line for the finals of the bracket against
Oh
K-Fans
yeah.
next week at Martinsville. So it's going to be a very interesting week for you, to say the least. But let's talk a little bit about this Dover win from Stein. A lot of controversy from the 8 car line cone as a lap down car. We've seen the video, we've seen the results. A podcast question did come in. Do you think Sterlo would have won without line cones impact in the final laps? I lean, I lean no, just for the simple fact is you don't know. You really don't know. I really can't
Yeah.
say yes or no on it, but I lean no just because of the way it played out. Stein was the lead car the whole majority of the time during that whole process. So Sterlo had to really work for it. He also could have done his own little dirty maneuver or pinned him against the wall or something like that to change. But I definitely as admins we definitely agree that the A car definitely had no business being up there. It was penalized for it. But I don't think it really altered the result too much. I'm just happy he didn't wreck the 24 in Sterlo or cause any instance with the 3 wide push that he made with Stein and Sterlo, and they didn't get together and all wreck, and that would have been a whole lot of mess to clean up there. But what was your opinion on? Do you think Sterlo had a real chance if Line Cone did not interfere in that couple final laps.
My general opinion, I haven't actually seen the clip. Can you send me the clip real quick? Because I haven't been able to see it fully. Because based on what I heard, is that Sterling got forced up into the middle lane where he didn't want to be, and that really, really hindered him. But at the same time, he's been adamant. He also made a few mistakes. I think he got loose once or twice that allowed Stein to gain a little bit of time. So if we're thinking about it like that, his car was a little loose, but I thought it would have been way closer than it was. I think if there's no lap car there, he's able to run his line. Do I still think Stein gets it? Most likely. The outside lane, you get the momentum, plus he has fresh tires, so he would have eventually gotten it. But it would have been so much closer and probably a thrilling finish. I thought it was going to be at the line if there's no lap car, most likely. Overall, though, I mean, I don't know. We'll never know. Exactly. You'll never know unless we repeat the race, the same cycle, and we have it repeated and no lap car there. I mean, Sterlo could have held on. We don't know. He's a good driver. He could held on, maybe hold off Stein, but Stein could have passed him because he has fresh tires. I mean, it's a question, but the results, and unfortunately, we did have that incident, and in the winner column, Stein gets it, and this is no shade to Stein. He had the good speed. He had a good car all night, so he did earn it, and it's gonna be a good fight for those two because now they're. I don't know if they're tied for wins. They're
Fully
close
tied.
now.
They're tied for wins and tied in points.
Yep,
Number one in points are
exactly.
tied, so
Yep.
it's gonna be.
It's gonna be a fun fight
No, they're
for
not
those
tied. They're
two.
not tied in wins. Stein has one
They're
less
not
win
tied.
than him, and
Oh
and
yeah,
then
because
Sterlo has 3, Stein has 2, but they're tied in
yeah.
the points.
Hmm.
So it's gonna be very interesting. I cannot find the clip off the top of the thing, but yeah, it was a very interesting finish. It was a great race overall to watch on my phone. Watching y'all do it, it was caution free. Had a little incidents here and there with one car spins around, couple cars entering or exiting pit roads, spun out. But that's not a call. That's not really criteria of a caution. But we did move the caution criteria back to um last year's option for the playoffs. So only 2 more races of quote unquote 2 cars around as a caution. And when we start the playoffs for Michigan, it's going to revert back to 1 car around and 2 other cars affected by the wreck by damage or severely off throttles type stuff. So that'll help Premier. They've done great this season with cautions when it comes to green flag racing all season. I think the worst race we had was probably Charlotte. Beginning of Charlotte, we had to go with 5 cautions in a span of probably 50 laps, and then we went caution free the rest of the race. So they knew how to fix it. Unlike a certain other series that we've had, but they've corrected it, so I won't bash them for their history. But NXT's done a good job with that too. But yeah, Premier gets to have the advantage of a altered caution criteria, so they should. I think they're all happy about that because sometimes a car spins out and it costs them the rest of the stage, or like 48's case got spun out by somebody
Yeah.
incidental in the first stage and then got 2 laps down and could really never recover, but he did the best he could. But yeah, I was very happy with it. Very pleased. Spartan did a great job. Appreciate his contribution to the admin, being head admin, and I know I can trust him with the Premiere side of things. And yeah, I'm very proud. Everybody did a great job from what I've watched. I was watching my team lose the national championship, but I still wouldn't trade it for the world. It was a great night, and I love it. I watched it on my phone with the headphones in and watched everybody stream, and I enjoyed every minute of it. I racing in the same track with great drivers on Sundays led me to believe that Premier was going to step up and do the same thing, and they really did. And I'm very proud. Shout out to Stein for that win. Sterlo gave a hell of an effort. Everybody gave a hell of an effort. Another great oval debut for Valley, top 3. So that's a great debut for him for our first oval. And I heard good things about his first experience, and love to have it. Yep. So yeah, it was very good. Anything else you want to clean up from the Dover Premier Race? Anything I didn't bring up that I missed that you want to talk about, Brent?
Um, I mean, strategy was cool. Early pit was the key all night. Having to save fuel was a big factor as well, like obviously, but no, not really. I mean, it's the same thing for Dover for NXT. I mean, it became a fuel saver. I did watch that race.
Mhm.
I know they saved quite a bit, and that's actually how I learned about stage two, because I didn't think all week. I was like, you can't save stage two. You can't possibly make it on fuel on one stop.
Mhm.
And then I saw Impact do it in stage two. I'm like, oh wait, this could become a fuel saver, and it did. How was NXT in that sense? Because I know they had a few cautions, but they cleaned it up.
We only had one caution in NXT, which is very
Ooh,
happy, which
oh
was
yeah, I
the
forgot about
first
that.
5. It was only
Yep.
the first 5 laps, some 10 laps
Yeah,
of
my
it.
bad.
And that ended the fuel mileage, whatever we had in stage 1. Just it
Hmm.
was stage 1 wasn't much of a fuel mileage compared to stage 2. But then we started stage 2, and that was green all the way through.
Green.
And we had little
Yep.
issues here and there with pit exits. I know MK has some issues with Tyreek with a pit exit, wrecked, and then he came back on track and knocked him up. I don't know if that was stage 2 or stage 3. But NXT was very good. It was very competitive, very fun. Probably one of the best finishes we've had all year. It was very fun to watch. You know, shout out, shout out Banjo. Who won that race? I'm sorry. Who won? Who am I missing? Lyle. I'm sorry,
It,
Lyle. Lyle,
yeah, it was
19
Lyle.
car. I was thinking last year, 19.
That was an
Yeah,
interesting finish.
Lyle was very good at it, showing up in the NXT. Um, Iron Man was up there to the end. He was giving all
Ooh,
he
Iron
had.
Man
It was very
Tyreek.
fun.
Yeah,
Tyreek
that
was
was
up there. That was a fun battle. I know it was a little little
a
tidbit
little
here and there.
controversial, you know.
Little controversial here and there, but I think they all cleaned it. I think they shook hands at the end because Tyreek used to run for ILM, so I think it was a
Rivalry
little
coming.
issue during that, but it was a nice little rivalry stake in there. But Lyle got the job done. It was fun to watch from my experience. I didn't have the best car all night. I didn't have any great car. I was a couple laps down, got spun out by somebody, and can never really recover. Got a black flag. Sliding through pits wasn't the greatest. But everything was good. Everybody was fine. Did their job. No cautions after 5. Um, after lap 5, lap 10, whatever it was, and it was a fun race. Really proud of NXT. They're really stepping it up. We're trying to get them back into the Xfinity cars by next season. It will be next season, won't be this season at all. But for next season, we're trying to get them back in Xfinity cars and get them ready for that. So that's we're doing the we're going back to backwoods on Saturday nights, so they'll run the same time as the Truck Series to get their feet wet and back to the Xfinity cars and get used to those before we start unleashing that for the full NXT series for next year. We'll revamp the schedule a little bit, more ovals, a little less short tracks to get them away from that loose feeling and get them speed wise, keep those cars straight because they've done great they did great on those larger ovals in the Xfinity cars like Pocono. That was a triangle, but you know what I mean. And it was
Yes.
they had their
Non
issues with
oval.
like Rockingham. They had their they had their issues with Rockingham and let's see what else they had there. Rockingham. Where else did they go? They had issues.
Did they struggle at Indy? Did they run well at
No,
Indy? I don't know.
they didn't run Indy. They didn't run Indy. Premier
I
was the
don't know
only
what
group that ran
tracks
Indy.
y'all ran, to be honest.
I honestly try to forget about that early in that season. Not
I
gonna
know they
lie.
ran
I remember
Dega,
Rockingham was the
obviously.
one. Oh, Iowa. Iowa's the other one. So another short track type of short. It was a little, it's a big short track. Um,
Yeah,
but
they only
yeah,
run
that was
Indy.
the other one. That was the other big one they didn't do great on. But ever since going to next gen cars, we're reverting back to the original NXT plan of next gen cars. They've been really good. I've been very proud of them. We're getting people stepping up and getting some seat time in Premiere and seeing who can advance up to Premiere. Now that you can see them in the next gen cars, we really shouldn't call them next gen cars anymore. They're really Gen 7. They're
They're
not really
just
next
pickup
gen anymore.
cars at this
We've been
point.
calling them yeah we haven't been calling them next gen for 5 years. We've had them for what 6 probably in real life. So it's like
It's been a
not
long
really
time,
next
man.
gen. We yeah.
They're kind of
But
old
yeah,
gen
very,
now.
very proud. Lyle, second one of the season, did a great job, stepping up for his team. Thunderbolt Racing, been phenomenal this season at NXT, and doing great job. Very, very proud of everybody in NXT. It was very so. Yeah, Truck's been off for 2 weeks, so I'm
They're
excited to talk
back.
more about them later. Finally back
Yes.
later. But we'll get to some podcast questions now. See some interest. There was some interesting ones this week. Um, my phone's being stupid. There we go. Here's a question for you, Brent. I think you don't, you're not able to watch it constantly. You're not able to. You watch streams of your driver stuff. But what
hmm
truck drivers do you see moving up the next season, and who do you think will have a big season next year?
In terms
Eileen,
of
a truck series. So
okay.
Eileen probably like pumps. I think Zay has an opportunity to move up. A K4 is already probably moving up to the Backwoods series because he's not eligible for trucks anymore. So he'll probably move over to that Xfinity series so he can get used to NXT when it happens. Or if he does a great job in that short 11 race season for Backwoods, he can get a shot in Premiere. But you have anybody that stands out besides your driver pumps?
Someone who surprised me a little bit in their few starts. I used to race with him. I'm honestly impressed a little bit. I know he hasn't really run a lot. Is Wizard? I think he's impressed me a
Mm-hmm.
little bit in his limited starts. I think he's done solid. I'm trying to think outside the box because we have the guys that we obviously know can run NXT. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
they're going up. But there's some guys in the series that I feel like would be fine for NXT and they could run solid. A guy like ADR, he could run
Mm-hmm.
NXT if he really wanted to. He could run solid. He wouldn't be an issue, and I think he'd be a top 15, top 10 driver. It's just Cowboy Tech obviously could run NXT if he really wanted to. It's just really, do the drivers are the what truck drivers actually want to move up? Do they really want to run NXT? Do they want to just stay in trucks and just do they like the trucks? I
Battle.
mean, that's a
True.
real. Yeah, some people like battling inside the top 10, battling for wins, having fun. I mean, trucks is fun. I mean, a lot of people love the trucks in this game. Another guy that I could maybe see in the future if he continues to run would be Outsider. I
Yes.
know on Heat 5
Mm-hmm.
he was really good, and I know on this game he can be good if he practices. You obviously mentioned Zay. I mean, Fenris, or no, I'm not gonna say Fenris because he decided to go down to trucks himself. So I don't know if he would do that again. He would move up.
Yeah, I think he loves
Um,
trucks right now. He's the type of person that loves trucks. You can,
yeah, exactly.
somebody's improving like crazy. To me, is Cowboy Tech. I think he gets the worst luck out of anything. Maybe some self-awareness issues here and there from him that makes him have some incidents here and there. But somebody like a Cowboy Tech is somebody who, when he gets good tracks that he knows he's okay at, he does great on. He did great at Dover in NXT. He got approved for Dover this week because I trusted him to have a good effort at Dover in the next gen cars, and he really showed out. I think he had a top 11, top 12 day, and he really did good. I don't think he finished up there where he wanted to
He
because
finished
of fuel
12th.
mileage and stuff. Okay, 12th. Okay, so I was right.
Yeah, he's top 10
So he
car.
really, I think, yeah, he was sixth most. He passed me. He when he passed me to lap me. I think he was eighth. I was like, oh, there, Cowboy Tech. Good job, Cowboy Tech. So I really enjoyed to see that. I know he's had some bad luck in the trucks a little bit here and there, but he's always somebody. Yeah, but you said Outsiders also. He's going to the Backwoods, I do believe, to get some seat time over there. Doc Nanners, who just came into the league. I know him from another league, and he streams those races, and he's improving bi-weekly, and it's like crazy to see his improvement. He's one of the cleanest drivers I've seen on this game, and I'm glad that he's getting the opportunity to show his speed every time I see him on stream. So he's somebody that can move up and be great. Might be in the Truck Series full time next season, and then can move up after that and try NXT or maybe Premiere in the future. Who knows? So it's gonna be very interesting. I'm excited to see it. It's the way the league is set up right now. We got some young guns coming up there. New game coming up there. Finally, should getting a show out. Pumps is up there. There's even rumors of Pumps getting a premiere opportunity already. Some team owners might be reaching out there. You never know. I personally would love to see him in NXT rather than Premiere before he moves up to Premiere because he reminds me of a lot of
I
you,
agree with
Bren.
that.
He reminds me a
He's
lot of you, where you got thrown into the deep end and you were just not ready for it then. I know you were on controller then as well, but you just weren't ready for that kind of competition that early with that many people. And then you went back. Then when you came back, you went to NXT, got your championship run, got your feet wet, and then got the opportunity with HVM, and you made it count. You ever since you got that wheel, you've been top 10 driver. You're top 10 in points and doing the best you can. So that's what I hope for Pumps. Take it one day at a time. He'll get his hot rides in Premiere and get his opportunities. And he'll be just fine. He'll be just fine. The only reason he was not at
yeah.
Dover this week, he had a lot of
No, he did run
issues
Dover.
at NXT. He had NXT. He got his run in
Yeah,
NXT Dover, but I was planning for him to do
he struggled.
Premiere, and I think I couldn't approve him after seeing his Premiere issues or his Dover NXT issues. So we'll see him in the future again, and we'll see how
Yeah,
he
we're gonna work on
responds.
that. We're gonna work
Yeah,
on that.
but
Trust me. I mean, it's gonna happen.
yeah. So he'll have his
It's gonna happen
opportunities.
sometimes.
It's gonna be fun to watch. It's gonna be fun to watch these young guns getting
Exactly.
these chances. With the top 9 being so close in points in Premier, who do you see falling to the wild card race for every host to answer? Let me look at the. Honestly, the top. It's so tricky because you're gonna have to race the 9 through 16 are gonna have to race for those 4 spots. And do I see anybody coming out of that top 8 right now? I don't see Bren leaving it. I don't think, 2 races to go. I don't see Bren leaving it. Lion Cone definitely not leaving it. Spartan, he can be hot and cold. He's going to have to really show up. We obviously know how great he is at super speedways. And, he'll show up when he needs to most. But we really don't know about Martinsville. He can be good. He might not be good. I've heard rumors that controller guys are going to be really great at Martinsville over wheels. So, I don't know. Do you have any expectations of anybody leaving that top 8 and having a fight in that wild card race?
I'm letting you know now, Martinsville I'm bad at.
Right now
Yeah,
you
I'm
have
good.
how big is your lead over 8th right
It's like
now?
it's over
17?
8th.
17 right now. You have a 17-point lead over Spartan. No, I'm sorry. It's not. Spartan's 9th. You have you have 6. You have
That's
5,
17.
6. So, and then you have so then if you fall out, you and Linecone will just switch to 7th and 8th. And then you're top 8. So it's really Spartan you got to worry about. And Romeo might have 2 good races in a row. Insolvable. You never know. It's the issues. Cowboys, Savage. You never know. But as long as you're in the wild card race, you have a chance. So it's not like it's end of the world. You have
Yeah,
that.
but I really don't want to be in that wild card race, bro. That's gonna
Yeah,
be hell. You really
that
don't
is gonna
want
be
to be
hard.
honest.
You're
That's
gonna
the
be
number one
sweating
thing.
bullets. You're gonna be
Yeah,
sweating
exactly. And you're at
bullets.
Michigan, a draft track, and
Sweating
honestly, this
bullets.
is this is the one thing about the playoffs this season is that these are tracks up until the final round. I'm probably not gonna make the round of 4 because of the tracks, but if I did, I'd actually be happy. But
Yeah.
the playoffs have some tracks where like New Hampshire and Richmond are insanely difficult. I'm gonna be right honest with you guys. You guys are gonna have to practice for that one because you got to get used to the throttle points. It is not like
Yeah.
Heat 5 where you can just
I
throttle
agree.
up and go. If you throttle up, you're gonna spin out like no matter what
Yeah.
you do. You're gonna learn at Martinsville this week. This is kind of a preview for Nashville or New Hampshire and Richmond. It's going to be like Martinsville in a sense, just way looser. I feel like Richmond, I don't know why. I hate
It is
those
very
tracks,
loose.
but
Richmond is very
it's
loose.
just
Hampton is very loose as well. I agree. It's a very loose
No,
track.
but like you said, Mets, it's gonna be fun because the top five are so close, and then you have the points battle for the for the lead. Like
Yeah, racing.
Stein
Yeah.
and like who's gonna win the regular season championship? I mean, it's so tight. Who do you think's gonna win it?
If I had to put my money on it right now, I think Stein has the advantage. He came back
Ooh.
from that. He came back from that. The gap. He got Sterlo had that big gap after winning those races, and Stein really came up and said, "All right, I'm taking this, got my win, and I'm getting these." I think he had what? How many top twos in a row? He had like top fives in a row. He had like 7 in a row or something like that. So I really think he has the momentum right now. But Sterlo can say, "No, screw this, turn it up." We know he can, even though he won't say it. But he's good. He's great at these play tracks. I think the draft we'll talk about after this next this after we finish this conversation. And I really think I think he really loves the new draft package from in the game. So I think he'll really be great there. So I know Stein will as well. But it's really I think whoever comes out on top in Martinsville between those two will
Oh
be the
yeah.
regular season champion. I really think so. I don't Yeah, unless something really major happens at Daytona, I really think
I mean,
whoever
that would
comes
be a
out on
fun
top.
one though, because both teams right now they're gonna be good on Super Speedways, so that's definitely gonna be fun
Yep.
to see which team comes up on top.
Agreed. Agreed. And you always look at these little things too. You look at the little things like what team might have some ghosting issues that might affect your team if they're
Oh,
lined up together. And you really don't have any. I mean, if Tyreek's the only major one who ghosts. And Stein doesn't ghost much, Spartan doesn't ghost at all. Not anybody in HVM's ghost. Thurlow doesn't ghost, Yoshi doesn't ghost. You have Cowboys as a fifth driver as well in the affiliate program. Valley doesn't ghost. I haven't seen him ghost at all. So it's really going to be a real battle between HVM and ILM in that Daytona race. We'll talk more about that next week, but it's going to be a very interesting finish with this Martinsville. And if Martinsville's going to be real key on this championship, regular season championship. But yeah, we'll move on. Thanks for the podcast questions this week. We'll answer more next week and keep sending them in. But yeah, we'll move
maybe
on
some
to this
NXT
draft.
ones.
We'll talk. No, say it again.
I said maybe some NXT ones next
Yeah,
week.
maybe some. Yeah, send some NXT ones. Send some. I know we answer little trucks, and I know, but yeah. But we'll move on to the test session we had last night. Just a quick little thing. We both were in it. We enjoyed the new package. I do believe as an overall majority of approval. We had a lot of wrecks per
A
se.
lot of
But I told
incidents.
everybody
I was involved in
I
a lot of
told
them.
I told everybody to be aggressive, test the limits of this draft package, see what you can get away with, see the bubble, see all the interesting stuff, and do the
We
best you
did.
can. We finished good. I think we started on an eight lap green flag run. I think we ended on an eight lap green flag run to end it for 28 laps. So in between that, we just had little incidents here and there, but some fun time, some fun spinning the A car. Um, on top of everybody's hoods and spinning on 15 feet in the air. That was fun to watch.
Yep.
But we learned a lot from it. You can bump draft now, and it's really great.
I wanted to win that.
It might be even 10 times better than Heat 5 bump drafting. I really think. I know Xfinity cars. So we really won't know much until we get to the next gen cars next week at Daytona. So it's gonna be really really interesting. I really love what I saw. People going. I saw Spartan go from 20th to 3rd with those 8 laps. So you can really maneuver through the field, especially with those Xfinity cars. So it's fun to watch. Yeah, but very impressed with it.
Yeah.
Thank you to iRacing for improving that plate package and stop parachuting us when we hook bumpers for a long period of time. Really proud of that, and it's gonna make next season and the rest of the plate tracks really fun to watch. It's even gonna make Michigan fun because Michigan's a little plate track itself, a little mini plate track where you can actually push longer now, so it's not like you have to get scared of that umbrella feature where it's gonna hang you back. We saw that a little bit in the All Star Elite last chance qualifier race. So it was really interesting to see that and really proud of that. So I'm really looking forward to the next couple races. Yeah, It was fun. We'll move on. Let's talk a little. Insoluble, you there? Good old producer. Okay, buddy. Include your audio now because it is time for our little Martinsville preview. Let's see. I think we're expecting the same thing in all three races this week. Short track tempers. Looseness, as Brent said earlier. You got to be careful with these throttle. You got to be careful with, you got to keep it cool. You're probably gonna walk away with a lot of your car's gonna be a lot of banged up.
Damage.
It's gonna happen. It's just like real life. It's gonna happen. Just protect those quarter panels of people. Don't be pushing up people too much. Have respect for each other. It's gonna be fine. But I'm really looking forward to it. It's the first time Premiere mostly because I know Premiere has the respect more, or naturally they have the respect of everybody else. Everybody mostly has the respect for each other to drive each other clean with respect. It shows all season with less cautions. But I'll start with you, Insoluble. What do you expect from this Martinsville race that we have on this NASCAR 25? It's our first big short track race.
Just going off iRacing, I mean, personally, I don't like Martinsville, but I'm expecting a pretty decent race as long as everybody gets their setups dialed in to where they're able to handle it. I think we'll have a pretty good race. Short tracks, you're gonna have tempers, like you said. You're gonna have a little bit of bumping and all that. It's just naturally gonna happen, especially with the way the draft is set up in this game. It's probably gonna suck people up on the straightaway, even though it's so short. So
Yeah.
I just see a little bit of everything happening here.
You're gonna have to protect it. You're gonna have to protect each other, protect those bumpers. At least I'm happy NASCAR 25 is less of a bumper issue in this game. Like you can slam those bumpers a lot harder than you could in NASCAR Heat. So it's like you won't get that. How many times did we in NASCAR Heat 5 we complain about yellow bumper? You really gotta hit that You really gotta hit that bumper in this game to get that yellow bumper. So you can protect those quarter panels a little better. Brandon, what do you expect coming into this Martinsville weekend?
I've already run practice here, and based off of what I know, it's honestly it's gonna be like the rest of the tracks. Unfortunately, Martinsville. I think it's the racing's gonna be fine, but as you guys know, in next gen cars in general, it's just hard to pass, and Martinsville is no different, unfortunately. So get ready for a lot of incidents where people get overzealous and like get out of the way, bro. I've been fighting with you for 20 laps and you're slower than me. Move.
Yeah. There's gonna be a lot of like half-assed. Can I get around you, please? There's gonna be a lot of that, like you get like if real life NASCAR drivers can talk to each other, it'd be like, I'm faster than you. Can I get around you? Come on now.
Don't hold me up.
Don't hold me up. Get the fuck. A lot of, real life. There's a lot of fingers going out the window. A lot of like windshield thing. A lot of your number one type fingers. And we really can't do that in the video game world because then I'll get on to y'all about talking. So like, get the fuck over it and just ask kindly if you really know if you're faster than somebody, and then have them follow you type stuff. So I expect Premiere is a lot better than that, and NXT can get a little heated here and there.
Oh, trust me, I know something's gonna happen.
Yeah. More of the hotheads are on the HVM team, and they're in that team chat. So it kind of helps me that I'm like, all right, I don't want to hear Sterlo go off. Yoshi can be a hothead sometimes when it's not going great for him, and then you can be a overzealous
I leave it in
person
team
too.
chats. I leave it in team chats now. Trust me. If I was in the voice chat, people would get annoyed. I leave it in team chats. I get angry, but I don't stream, so nobody knows what I actually say. So that is a good thing.
Well, one thing I would like to say about Martinsville is, even if you do get damage, it doesn't necessarily affect your car like it would at most other tracks.
Very true. That's 100% on 100% truth right there. It's not like, you might get a little tighter. You might get a little, it might improve you in some aspects. You might get that side
to be honest,
damage. You might get that side because that looseness hitting that gas coming out of a turn can really send you around if you don't get that throttle control in these short tracks. It really can send you around. So it's gonna be very interesting. I'm really looking forward to it. I know I'm scared about last time we went to Martinsville, it was not pretty for an NXT race. I think we had 30 people. It was not
Oh,
pretty. It
dude,
was our first
I
bad
hate
NXT
Martinsville.
race. I don't know what happened with that. That roster like blew up in a 2 week span because of all the the goodwill NXT was like. We're just the best series I've ever ran. People were talking great about it, and it got people in. And then we showed up to Martinsville for the first race, and it's like, all right, we have 30 people here. And then we just didn't. I don't think we were out of. We don't. We had a green flag race. Green flag. I don't think we had a green flag run at all the whole race. So it was up there in a Rockingham style type stuff. So it was our first bad NXT race, but it was better after that. And I know we didn't even try to put Martinsville back on the schedule after that. So we're hoping for that new game here, little better throttle control in this game compared to running people over with bad bumpers and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to it. We'll start with trucks. Trucks are back this week finally after a 2 week break. The only reason we had a 2 week break is when I made the schedule. When we made the schedule, we were hoping to get Backwoods Xfinity Series started in that 2 week break, and it just didn't
Oh,
happen with the schedule like that. So that's why it was a 2 week break. So it really wasn't needed for trucks, but it happened. Give them a little break. They've had a great season so far, and looking forward to seeing what they do the rest of the season. So get these Martinsville and Daytona, and then we got a off week for the Super Bowl, and I think Super Bowl, and I think we got another off week for Valentine's Day. So that's the last 2 off weeks we have for trucks. So it's gonna be very interesting. Let's pick. I'll start with you, Bren. Who's your number 1 pick for trucks Martinsville?
honestly, it's a pretty easy choice for me. He's been a short track specialist this season, lefty. Very good on these short tracks. Martinsville suits, I think, his driving style, how he drives. And then my dark horse this week, I'm gonna go with. Let me check the points actually. Someone who would be good at a short track / track where you really have to be good on your brakes and throttle. To be really good at. Okay. I'm gonna go with ADR as my dark
Okay,
horse.
there you go. That's a good
I'm
pick.
gonna
I
go
like
with
that.
my team. Yeah, ADR. He's underrated on some tracks. Trust me. He'll pop up sometimes for wins.
I agree. I agree. Was it ADR? Is it ADRKO? Is that it? ADRKO or is it
It's I
ADKO?
just call him AD. I just call him ADR AD. But
Okay,
no, he doesn't
AD.
want like I
Okay,
don't know what he wants to be called. Personally, I would ask him. I'm
okay,
not.
no
I
biggie.
don't. I just keep calling the wrong name.
No biggie. It's all about you. A main pick, just a main pick for trucks. I know you're not really too
I got a main and a
huge for
dark
the truck
horse here.
series. Okay, go ahead.
So I'm gonna go with someone that doesn't have a win yet, but is leading in points currently. That's gonna be Hendricks Fan for the trucks this week. I got a feeling, I don't
Okay.
know what it is. It's gonna be a tough track, and he's gonna be one to watch. And for my dark horse, I'm actually thinking Georgia Dog might be able to get up there and cause a little trouble. Sneak in there and get a win, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't dislike that whatsoever because he can show up and put the smackdown on anybody any given week. It's just I think it's his self-esteem that gets him down most of the time, and his less aggressiveness style that he doesn't like to show at all that can really hinder him, and especially short tracks. And he's been legendary, probably the best driver in ODRO at these Barnesville races in the history of the league. So I would not be shocked if he can show up and do great in this. If he gets this new style of throttle control down. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Pure Splash
Thank
as
you. I was
my
gonna say someone pick him.
main pick. I just think he's one of the top standouts in trucks, and is really doing great this season. And then I'm gonna go as my dark horse. I'm gonna go Cowboy Tech because I think Cowboy Tech is due, and I think he can do great on it. And he just needs the opportunity to get in a good position, and maybe a black flag falls a certain way to somebody, or wreck into the wreck to somebody on the backstretch. One truck spin here and there, it might be in the proper position to 5 to go, when caution cut off, and I'm sitting pretty, maybe a few mods, you never know. So yeah, I think Galbatek has a real chance. I think he's coming alive in these trucks. I know he has 2 weeks off, but I think he can come back to it and be great. But yeah, we'll move on to NXT. Brent, I'll start with you again. Who do you got for NXT for Martinsville?
Well, I mean, I think he's run well at this track in the past. No. Yeah, no, he was very good at Martinsville, if I remember correctly, on Heat 5, and I know I'm being a homer again. I'm going with Impact. He's very solid at Martinsville. I think he's going to have top 10 speed, obviously, and I think he can get it done at Martinsville. If I had to go for my dark horse, that'd be our first win for our NXT side of the team. And then if I had to go for my dark horse, I would go with... Oh man, I know. I don't want to pick him, but I'm going with Yeti as my dark horse. He's very aggressive, and this is the type of track where you're gonna have to be aggressive, and he might make a few people angry, but he's gonna be up front if he can keep his car straight. Because I know how he is. He's very quick, and I know he's very solid in this game, so I expect him to be up front if he can keep his car clean. Now, will he make some enemies? Probably. But will he do it while also being up front? Probably as well. So
Sure,
I mean,
possible.
would it be
Impact
Yeti
is
if
my
he
main.
wasn't making enemies?
Yep, exactly. So Impact and Yeti as my picks this week for NXT.
All right. How about you, Insoluble? Who's the producer pick this week
My man,
for NXT?
Me and Brandon are on the same wavelength this week. I was actually thinking about doing Yeti as a dark horse myself, but I'm gonna go with Tata Head because he's got that aggressiveness
Okay.
as well. And if I had to pick a dark horse, I would say probably T-Stone here because I know he's pretty due to get a win as well.
That's a good pick. Those are good picks in my opinion. I think he's practicing his heart out for this. Getting that ILM back in that victory lane. Besides Iron Man, so it's gonna be very interesting to see. You said T-Stone. Let me mark that down. All right, so my pick. It's hard to go against the guy when he wins almost every other week. I gotta go Tyreek at Martinsville. I just, he's dominating this NXT. He's the leading candidate to get a full-time ride in Premier. I might have to force him to get a full ride in Premier. I can't let him be in NXT next season because just gives NXT a break from Tyreek for full time. So it's like, all right, move up, do the best you're fast, and he's doing great this season. So Tyreek is just my number one right now as a power rankings. I know I haven't done it lately, but I know Tyreek and Stein are doing a great job with those fun driver power rankings, and Tyreek's just my clear number one by a landslide. And my dark horse, I think y'all took my dark horse, but my dark horse, I don't know honestly. I have to look. Who's my dark horse? Actually, I don't know. Can you consider? Is it cheating if I consider Tango a dark horse? Is he too far in the points to consider him a dark horse, Bren?
Tango?
Yeah, Tango.
I don't keep. Is he a dark horse? You're trying to pick him as a dark horse?
Yeah.
He's 11th in points.
Okay, I consider that dark horse.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. If he doesn't have a win yet, yeah.
Yeah, I think I consider it dark horse. Yeah. All right. So let's go on to the Premier Series, the big old series here. Martinsville, a big race. I'll put the second to last race of the regular season here. What is your number one pick in Solvable for Premier?
Put me on the spot there. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna give him a little bit of a hard time here. I think if Bryn practices, he could get a win here at Martinsville. I know he says he's bad at the track, but I think he's trying to pull a little bit of a Sterlo. And
Okay,
I'm
that's
also
fair point.
doing this because I'm behind him in points and I really need to catch up. So maybe it'll stress to get to him.
Okay. So you're picking his as your number one, not even your first, but you're picking him as a number one.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go with that. I know Spartan isn't too far behind him, but I'm gonna put him as a dark horse.
Okay. All right. How about you, Brandon? Who's your picks for Martinsville?
This week, you know what? I really hope this. No. All right, we're gonna be easy this week. I'm gonna do Cobra as my main pick this week. People are saying I'm
Okay.
HVO homer. I know. I'm sorry, guys. Just because I like my own team. And
Did you
then
say
for
Cobra?
my yes, people call me HV homer. I'm picking
Yeah, but
Cobra because he's also
okay.
very good. He's
Okay.
very good, and I think he'll do solid at Martinsville. He's been very solid as of late. And then my
Okay.
dark horse this week, I know he's running. He already said it. Impact. I know I picked him for
Okay.
NXT, but I think he'll be competitive in the Premier race as
We
well.
technically do. We made a rule that said you can't pick NXT drivers for Premier and
All
Premier
right.
drivers for NXT.
Okay. Then my dark horse is gonna be I don't want anybody inside the top 9 running good this week.
So you just
Besides me,
you're gonna jinx.
obviously,
You're gonna jinx
and
it.
Sterlo. Let's go. You know what? Dark horse. I gotta think dark horse Cowboys. He's technically a dark
Okay.
horse
Yeah, I
at this
consider
point in
that.
the
Okay.
season.
I can give you that. I'll give you that. Yep, I definitely think that's a good one. I'm gonna go. I'm really gonna go Yoshi Racing as my pick. Parker, as people call him, as my main pick because I really think controllers are gonna stand out, and he's the number one driver in the Premier Series on controller. And he could really benefit, just like he did at Chicago, because that was a really controller heavy track. And I really think he can benefit for Martinsville. And then my dark horse. Oh, who's my dark horse? I'm gonna go Romeo as my dark horse. I think he's just a notch away from shocking people. I just think he's just a great race away from shocking people and knocking somebody out of that playoff. That top. It just unlock himself in type thing. I really think he has a great opportunity there. But yep, those are our picks this week. Camo will no longer be with us anymore as he makes his way over to iRacing full time. And we wish him the best of luck. But we'll hopefully get Hendrick back next week. Started earlier this week for Brent's sake. We'll see how that one goes, if we like to do that or not, or maybe change the day for his benefit or Hendrick's benefit or not, since we don't have Camo anymore. So yep, you might be back with Iron Man. Shout out to Insolvo for producing it for us. Always a great producer here every week for us, and we'll get his picks in every week. We'll talk to him more next week as well, because he'll be on that cut line. We might have a little interview with Insolvo next week, since he's might be on that bubble for getting into the playoffs / Daytona coming up. So we'll see. We'll talk more about Insolvable next week in next week's podcast. And shout out everybody for listening. Shout out Premier for having a great race this week. NXT, another great race as well at Dover. And Truck Series is back this week. Happy to have that. And happy to have this league growing and seeing where it's becoming. And excited for these. Finally going to be able to see how this playoff structure plays out. We had it last season, but we were cut short because of the Heat 5 server, so we didn't get to see it play out. But now we finally get to see this play out in this game, and it's going to be very interesting. People are talking about it. Excitement's building for it. And that top 8 is sitting a lot prettier right now. Knowing if you're sitting pretty in that top 8, okay, I don't have to go to Michigan in a worry. I can go to Michigan and win some stage points, set myself up for more stage points. For more playoff points going into the next round. So it's going to be very interesting. So everybody for listening. Shout out Insolable. Shout out Brent for joining me. And we'll talk to y'all next week. Insolable, we're out, buddy.